Today and already concluded today, speaking for about 2.5 hours total when you take out the breaks that the Senate took. Kerry Johnson, we were talking about all of the steps that former President Trump took or urged after he had clearly lost the presidential election. You mentioned that pressure on Georgia's Secretary of State. You mentioned all of those lawsuits, almost all of them his side lost. There was also the fact that he called leaders of Michigan state legislature to the White House, urging them to appoint electors who did not reflect the will of the state's vote. And I think the last thing, the thing that the House Democratic managers talked so much about, was the intense pressure he put on former Vice President Mike Pence to essentially go against the Constitution, go against the law, and try to just reject the counting of the electoral votes.
Yeah, indeed. Mike Pence did a legal analysis with some of his advisors. Decided that it was not in his power to go against the will of the voters and went ahead and did his job. But Scott, we know it was interrupted for several hours by this violent rampage. And we saw footage yesterday, never before seen footage, security footage of Pence and his family members being ushered down a back stairway into safety. The rioters, the mobsters, got only 100 feet away from him at one point, and some of them were calling out, "Hang Mike Pence." This is as scary and as dangerous as it gets for the line of succession and for the country. And one question I did not hear answered by this Trump defense team is why it took former President Trump, so long to send help or do anything that day, January 6th.
And, stepping back to before the actual day of January 6th, the House impeachment managers, a big part of the argument that they were making yesterday was that President Trump set up a situation where first he told his supporters that the only way he could lose the election was if there was fraud or if it was stolen from him. Then he told them that they had to stop the steal, and then he invited them to Washington on January 6th. So the way that the House impeachment managers established this is that all of the steps that were taken leading up to the 6th were just as important as the words he said in the moment once the people were already there, because as they said, he had primed essentially a powder keg, and then, as Joe Neguse of Colorado said, he dropped a match and directed them directly to the Capitol.
The Trump team, I think we could argue, has taken many things out of context in the defense today to prove certain points to suggest that he's innocent.